Our hotel is located right in the middle of London, in an area known as Westminster. It's a building that's been around for a very long time, and you can see this when you get inside. The place is a bit like a rabbit hole. They've got about 50 rooms on each floor, and we were only on the 5th floor. Every day you see someone wandering around looking for their room. Makes you wonder how old they were when they started. The rooms themselves aren't very big when you try and get 2 people and their suitcases into it, but you can get bigger rooms if you pay for it, like we found out when we got back from Scotland and got a free upgrade. From our hotel room, it's only a short 5-minute walk down to Trafalgar Square. In the middle of the square is a monument to Admiral Horatio Nelson, who died in the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805. On each corner are 3 other monuments and a chook. We eventually found out that this corner is always a people's choice, and the winner gets to keep their statue up for 18 months before they choose another one. The square is a hub of activity throughout the year and is often filled with all types of buskers. You may have memories of there being lots of pigeons around here, but they're all gone now. I wonder if this is why the reason is. The National Gallery is here, and also a connection to Perth. The bells in our bell tower came from this building, St Martin's in the Field. England is really big on keeping its traditions alive and well, and nothing is more obvious than the pomp and ceremonies that goes with the changing of the guards at Buckingham Palace. There are 2 parts to this, the well-known guards and the lesser-known changing of the horse guards that we ran into when heading up to the palace. There is actually 2 parts to the changing of the guards. There are the guards that look after the palace itself, and another lot that look after St James's Palace just down the road. At about 11:30 they march out of St James to Buckingham Palace, and following along about 1 million tourists from all parts of the world. So of course we did the same thing. And once they're in, then the palace guards come from the other side. Everything comes to a standstill. Traffic and everything.
Off the wall!
And as quick as everything stopped, everything starts again, like nothing has happened. In front of Buckingham Palace is the Victoria Memorial to Queen Victoria. And then you've got the front, which used to be the back of the palace. From the palace, if you head back towards Trafalgar Square and walk through the park, you can check out some of the bird life and even see some of these little blokes. And they don't seem to be too worried about all the people walking around. I guess they don't get much sun around here, so when they do, you can hire deck chairs to suck up some rays with. The gardens are quite interesting too, and you never know what's around the corner. On the other end of the park is where you have the Ministry of Defence, the Horse Guard Parade Ground, and behind those trees, number 10 Downing Street, where the Prime Minister lives. So what do you do when you're standing at attention on duty and you get an itchy nose? Can you ask the person standing next to you to scratch it for you? It's one thing for a person to stand around all day and not move, but how do you stop a horse from moving? In keeping with the royal theme, our next stop is the Tower of London, first built at the end of the Norman conquest in 1066. It served as a fortress, a royal residence, a home for the royal mint and the crown jewels, a storehouse for military propaganda and weapons, and of course a notorious prison. But nowadays it's a tourist attraction with more than 2 million people passing through the gates a year. At one point it was also a bit of a zoo. That's why you see around the place these animals made of chicken wire. Some of its more famous prisoners were Anne Boleyn, who was married to King Henry VIII and lost her head here, 12-year-old Prince Edward V, and 10-year-old Prince Richard, and Guy Fawkes. Yes, there was a real person called Guy Fawkes. Inside the walls are a number of buildings that were all part of the royal palace, and one of the buildings now houses the crown jewels. You're not allowed to take pictures in here, so here are some pictures from the internet. The Beefeaters are another popular tourist attraction. In principle, they're responsible for looking after any prisoners in the tower and safeguarding the British crown jewels, but in practice they act as tour guides and are a tourist attraction in their own right. No one really knows where the name Beefeater came from, but the common theory is that they were allowed to eat as much beef off the king's table as they liked. Plus they were also the official food tasters for the king as well. But these days they're quite happy to stand around and have their photo taken with anyone that comes past. In the next episode we're going to continue with our look around London, starting with a look at the Tower Bridge.